Hello, friends. It's William here at Allegory Gallery. Thank you for joining me. It's just me here today. Um, Andrew is at home, and he's working on some things there to get ready for some things that he has going on. And I think he was here very late last night. So he may join us in the comments. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure what he's up to, but I know he was starting to work on some projects there. He was waiting for some deliveries. He's waiting on a pretty important delivery today to complete some of his projects. So he wanted to be there to make sure that it got here okay. Um, we've had some weird deliveries in the neighborhood. We've got some other people's mail here recently. Things are getting delivered weird. This delivery is coming via Amazon. They do their own drop off and things nowadays. And a few times those packages have gone to neighbors. So, um, that's fine because we have very trustworthy neighbors, but sometimes we don't get them the day that we need them or the day that we want them. So he's trying to make sure that we do, hopefully. So I'm up here at the cottage. I've been here for a little while doing some organizing, doing some packing and shipping. Um, and we did some things at the house today. I've been trying to get into more of a habit. I didn't do my exercises today. I'm trying to do that more often. It's making me feel really good to actually do them, but I have not. Yesterday I did a little bit. Today I didn't do any, but today's my weird day, being Wednesday and having the live here in the afternoon. Things always get a little bit rushed. Um, Today for me. Things seem to happen faster today. It's like I don't know. And they do kind of happen faster because the live happens earlier and it's not necessarily faster, but um my normal routine is for my normal day, like Monday through Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Those days, um, my kind of normal routine happens, and that's what I've built my routine on. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are my days at the shop usually. That's going to be thrown off this weekend too because we're not going to be open on Saturday. Um, we are going to be at an event at Contemporary Craft in Pittsburgh. So we'll be doing that on Saturday. Sunday is a raku event that we are doing at my pottery studio. But I don't know if I'm going to join it or not. I don't know. It may be too late for me to get pieces done and in. So um, I don't know. I have to talk to my pottery teacher tonight and find out if I still have time to make a little something or if it's too late. If it's too late, that's going to be okay. Um, and I'll be at the store on Sunday then. Otherwise, I'll be at the Raku firing on Sunday. So we won't be open possibly on Sunday at the shop. So we'll see what's going on today. Um, it's just been, it's the they picked a Raku date that was, I feel like, pretty close to the last one. It just kind of came upon me. Also because I wasn't feeling well the past few weeks, so I've not had quite the same opportunity to get things done that I thought I was going to. I do still have Raku clay, so we'll see if there's time for a bisque firing or not. As Andrew reminded me, we do have kilns. I could do my own bisque firing, but you know, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. Um, and I have some things I'm trying to finish, so I might just skip out on this raku firing and just kind of not cause myself a bunch of, you know, tension this week. Why do that to yourself, right? I'm not really ready for it. It would be a lot of fun. And I could still go and hang out, but if I'm not actually making anything, then I can't really justify not being at the shop. And there's things at the shop I need to do. So I might just skip it anyway. I have not signed up for it yet. That's also another thing because I don't know if I'm going to have anything ready. Let's see. Susan's here. Hello, Susan. Thanks for joining us. May is here, says, hi, AG Beat fam. Thought I'd peek in. Usually I put in a little workout, but I might just stay. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I was going to work out today and I ended up dilly-dallying around the house. I did take a walk, so I'm going to count that for a little bit. I didn't quite get a mile in, but I'm up to a mile and a half today of walking, so It's okay. I took a little walk and went down and got coffee. That walk did not burn off the calories that the coffee, I'm sure, caused, but at least I did that. So I stopped down at the Lucky Latte Cafe again and grabbed another coffee. I really liked their mocha yesterday, so I got that. Um, I ordered a decaf, but the label that they print out and put on the side did not say decaf. So I'm not sure if I had a decaf coffee or not. I'm not feeling too jittery. I am feeling more awake in the afternoon than I normally do. So it's very possible um, I actually had a caffeinated coffee. But I also I got this CBD tincture that I picked up I think last weekend. And it's kind of a high power CBD tincture. And I took that earlier this morning. I was feeling a little bit anxious, so I took that because that usually helps. And I took more than normal, so that may be combating the jitteriness slash anxiety that caffeine often gives me and just giving me the awake feeling. So maybe maybe that's a good thing. Um, I normally don't take that tincture other than at night to help me sleep, because it calms me down before bed. But I decided to take it this morning for some reason, and maybe that was the universe being like, "You're going to get caffeine today, so you better take this," without me knowing. Um, so that was that. Um, let's see. Marianne's here. Hello, Marianne. May says walks count. I always count those. Good job. Good job. Marianne says, as long as your walk was at least 10 minutes, it counts as exercise. It was definitely at least 10 minutes. I walked a few blocks down the hill and then I had to walk back up the hill. So I was actually like winded and sweaty a little bit before I got back. So I'm going to say it counts. It's not usually when I go running, I try to run for a mile. I've been trying to hit the mile mark because that kind of gets my heart going. um, it makes me feel like I've done something. I do want to start expanding that, but I can also do a mile in about 15 to 20 minutes. So it allows me to squeeze that in. And then usually when I come home, I stretch and things while I take the cats outside. I didn't get my stretches in and I can feel it. I haven't gotten my stretches in a few days. Um, I feel my sciatica and stuff feels a lot better when I do the stretching. So I really need to do that. But I did take the cats out today for a little bit. Um, they started getting a little wild again. Gertie was super dang cute looking at birds and chirping. She chirps back at the birds. You know how cats do. If you have cats, you know they chirp when they see birds and squirrels and alive things. So she was outside chirping like crazy. Um, but Tallulah went hiding, finally found her in a bush, and I got that started worrying me because both Tallulah and Idabel at one point I was like, "Where are you?" And I know they have to be around because, well, Tallulah she might go somewhere. She sometimes wanders off into the neighbor's property. Um, she's pretty good, but Idabel never does that. So I was like, she has to be here somewhere. I saw her in the flower bed with Gertie like 3 seconds before that. So I found Tallulah, and so I knew she was okay. So I knew Idabel had to be around somewhere. But sometimes you take your eye off of them for a second, and they're like, where did they go? I found Idabel underneath the hellebore. We have a big hellebore, and she was underneath there. All I saw was this tiny, about this much of a black spot. I started going through the flower beds, found this much of a black spot, and she's hiding under there with like hellebore dust or pollen on her head. I said, "What are you doing trying to give me a heart attack, disappearing like that?" And then she ran right to the door at the house. She knew she wasn't in trouble, but she knew that she caused me some, anxiety. So she ran right into the house, and I put everybody in because that was enough. That was enough. Uh, I can't do it. When they start running every direction, that's usually when they get gathered up and have to go in quick. Plus, there was a lot of noise outside, and they were all on edge a little bit anyway. So we didn't spend too much time outside today. I would have liked to spend more time out with them, but not like that. Hey, Susie, thanks for joining. Um, Let's see. Marianne says, mine watch the birds, but usually don't chirp. Oh boy, ours chirp a lot, especially Gertie. Gertie loves to chirp, 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 chirp. Barnaby and Gilbert, when they were younger, used to chirp more. They don't really chirp much anymore. Barnaby especially liked to do that, but um, yeah, he kind of in his older age, he has calmed down with the chirping. They both have, but Gertie, she chirps like crazy. It's so cute. I tried to get videos of it, but of course, as soon as I start taking a video, she's like, "What are you doing?" Um, and I tried to get it from the front because she opens her mouth and chirps, and it's really cute. But every time I got around front, she just looked at me and stopped. So I got some videos of her chirping, but I don't know if you can see it. I got to go back through my videos, and I might share some of those if I can, if it actually you can see it. But that's kind of been my day. It's been kind of a wild day. These Wednesdays, like I said, are always a little different for me. They are this, you'd think I'd be getting used to them, but because it only happens like this once a week, it's hard to get used to it. So, um, yeah, yeah. But I did make breakfast for Andrew and I this morning, for Andrew and me this morning. Um, and we had I took some tortillas and made some eggs and put some salsa and some cheese, some feta. We have some feta and some ranch, and I made little kind of wraps with that, and those were pretty good. I think I used eggs that my brother and sister-in-law, they have chickens now. Well, they've had chickens for a while, um, but now they're getting eggs from them. So my mom delivered some eggs from them for us, and they're super good. They're nice, that deep, nice yellow color on the egg that you don't get with sometimes the commercial eggs. So that was really nice, and I did that, and that was my day. How's your day, everybody? What are y'all doing? It's the afternoon, I know. How's your day going so far? Hopefully, you're all doing well. I have a few things I'm going to show you today. Yesterday we did loose beads. If you missed that show, you can still go back and do the replay. Um, not every lot even had more than one lot available, but this is not a show that you can go back through like 5 days from now. So please, if you're seeing this and you're listening to this message right now, if you want something from yesterday's loose bead lot show, please do it ASAP. Um, Andrew's started putting the trays back. We can still find them, but once they go back for a while, it sometimes flies out of our brain like what tray everything was. We have a lot of trays, and so they're not going to be, we don't label the trays or anything because they're labeled with their own things. So if you do want something from yesterday, please watch that show quickly and submit like within the next 24 hours or so, because after that, we'll probably stop taking requests for those things. A lot of people seem to enjoy that. We had a fun time. It was really nice. And yeah, a lot of people grabbed some things. I did some more. I have a few more loose lots today that I pulled from our stash, our kind of live stash that we have. And then I have some strands. Another thing that I pulled were a few luxury bead blends. We've had a few new people watching lately, and I don't think we've ever, since they've been watching, showed our luxury bead blends. These are bead blends that Andrew makes, and I'll talk more about them when we get to them. I didn't pull too many of them, just one or two, just to show you, but we have a lot of them in the online store. Andrew makes these. They are kind of artisan made. Um, uh, blends of all different things. Sometimes he puts vintage, oftentimes he puts vintage check glass, vintage seed beads, gemstones, sequins, lots of different things that, he kind of uses all of his education and, experience doing color work and, mixed media painting and all that stuff to make these blends. These are not your typical blends that you get from some places where they call them floor sweepings or, whatever they call them. Um, uh, you know, we call them luxury bead blends, and some people call them mixes, whatever you want to call them. But we call them luxury bead blends because we think they are a little bit of a step above. And Andrew puts a lot of time and effort into creating them. And so I figured I'd show you. Like I said, I had one over there in the section that I pulled from today, and I had another one. So I'm going to show you those today. If you are new and you don't know that we do these, they're really good for beginner beaters because they're kind of already color coordinated. It's a whole little bag full of all different things. Like it could be spacers. I use them quite a lot when I make bracelets, like during the make-alongs and make earrings. There's always good bits and pieces in there to use as spacers or focal, like little focals for earrings. Just very interesting things. And you can make a lot out of like one little bag. Some of our people show a lot of things that they've made with just one or two bead blends. So I'm going to show you those today. I have some gemstone strands. I have some glass. I have lots of things for you today. Just kind of a mishmash of I think very interesting and fun stuff. So hopefully you'll like that. Marianne says, went for 2 walks and got all my steps done. Nice. What am I up to today? 3,466 steps, apparently. So I've been trying to get closer to about 4,000 steps a day. And I think I've been hitting that fairly regularly. I want to try to keep increasing that, but I want to try and at least that's the minimum I've been trying to do. And I think for the last week or two, I've been successful at doing that. So that's good. I'm happy about that at least. Um, May is preparing lunch. Seems like I'm always cooking during the lives. I know. That's a good thing, right? Um, getting lots of good food. No matter when we're live, May is making delicious food. Marion asks for what's for lunch, May. May says store-bought fish fillet, but I made the tartar sauce. Nice. That's good. Um, yeah, I there's nothing wrong with store bought. What are you going to do? Like you're going to buy it from somewhere probably, right? Um, but making the tartar sauce, that's a good job. Good job. Marianne's up to 633. Oh, 6,331 steps. Nice. Nice. You've probably been up a lot longer than me. You get up much earlier than I do. Although some of my steps from last night count, right? Since I was up past midnight. So I get some counting in before I go to sleep and then more when I wake up. But you're doing much better than me today so far. I'm about half of what you've got going on. But by the end of the day, I should easily, well, maybe I should pretty easily hit my 4,000. And then I want to try and work my way up a little bit, like I said, to 5,000, 6,000. Ultimate goal, of course, is 10,000, right? But that's a lot. That is a lot. In what I do and in how my days go, I'm often sitting at the packing table or sitting in front of a computer. So it is hard for me to get that many. Um, Marion says, I did my walk early. Nice. That's good. Um, but yeah, that's life around here. And oh, this is something I was going to show you. I was trying this new thing. This is not an ad, y'all, but I'm trying this new thing. My aunt got it for us, and it's this thing called, let's see, a Vibe. And it has different programs on it um, that send out different um, resonances, different vibes out for different things. So there's one on here. One is brain fog. I haven't tried that one yet, which I probably need to do. But it's a very simple thing. You just flip through them. There's like a common cold, constipation, depression, different earth frequencies. I don't know what all of them are for yet, but the general inflammation, that's the one I've been doing a little bit. But right now, my lower back is hurting. So I'm going to do the lower back pain while I do this. And you just put this against your body. And it's supposed to amplify the waves against the water in your body. So I tuck it in here and I just let it run. And I have no idea. I've just started using it. My aunt and mom have them and swear by them. They say they even help their dogs sometimes because I guess you can use them on your dogs or animals. Um, and so I'm giving it a try. My aunt got it for us, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this, and they swear by them, so I'm gonna try. I did it one day for my when I did the first digging of the plant the other day. You may have seen it, was around my if you watched the video, I had it tucked under my shirt, and um, I was starting to get a tense lower back, and it seemed like the lower back untensed. So I don't know. It's weird to think about stuff like that. You know, some people believe in that, some people don't. It may be all placebo effect and what I believe, but I'm going to continue to believe that it is helping me because the lower back pain went away that day. Now I had upper back pain after that, but which there is another setting for that too. But the battery died, so we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna see how it goes. It's the same thing as kind of those. I mean, it's not the same thing, but we also, my family uses these dots and these. I've talked about um, the Kylo patches that we use. That even Andrew swears by. The Kylo patches, I think, work really well. My mom and aunt have also gotten into these kind of. There's dots that you put on, and they are supposed to trigger things in certain ways. So it's all really interesting stuff. And you know, the thing I like, if it works for you, do it, right? That's what I feel like. If you have pain, if you have depression or anxiety, whatever you find that works for you, um, do it, right? It's kind of like, you know, whether you believe in the power of rocks and stones and like tarot readings or, you know, runes or things like that. This one person I watched, they call them permission slips. It's whatever you believe is going to work for you and how it works in your world. It gives you permission to believe in that, or gives you permission to believe certain things about how life is run. And you know, a lot of people believe that life is as you think it is. So I think that's very interesting. Um, let's see here. May says it's their version of McDonald's filet of fish, which I've been craving for some reason. I've been craving fried fish too ever since, um, you know, the Lent and all that, and the fish fries. And I love fried fish, but I don't eat it anymore. We are not even pescatarians, so no fish. I miss it. One of the companies, I can't remember if it was Morningstar Farms or Gardein. One of them had fake fish fillets that are kind of like the fillet of fish, and they were pretty good. Like they had the kind of similar taste, texture, but our grocery store stopped selling them, and I can't find them anymore. Maybe they stopped making them. I don't know. But I miss those because I used to be able to throw some tartar sauce on those and have a fish sandwich. Um, May says it's a pretty big bag of 11 fillets. Nice. Hey, Leslie. Thanks for joining us. Um, Marion says, do the dots go on pressure points? Um, they do have suggested um, they do have suggested points to put them on. I don't know necessarily that they're pressure points, um, but they do have suggested areas that if you're feeling pain, you can put them on. And some of the dots, they tell you like they'll go on certain, whether they go on the right hand side of the body or the left, and you combine them together in certain ways. Andrew often puts one up at the top of his neck and swears it helps. um, the dots I feel like don't work as well for me. I don't know why. um, but the Kylo patches, I loved those. Now I haven't, we still have them, but I haven't bought sticky things because they lose their sticky and you have to, that is like a constant buying thing. But I put those on my lower back, and what it's supposed to do is scramble the nerve signals. It uses copper, I think, in it, and some other things, and it's supposed to scramble the nerve signals so they don't hurt as much and the inflammation can go down. Is that real? I don't know, but it worked really well for me. Andrew and I loved those. And he still wears the dots. I try a dot every once in a while, but I don't feel like it works as well as the Kylo pads. So I think that's why I'm comparing them to that, and those worked really well for me. Um, but yeah, um, it's all this stuff. And like I said, they do have suggested points. Marion says there is a pressure point on top of the neck. Yeah, I know there are some there. They do talk about different points on the body, and I'm sure they are pressure points of where you can place them. But they pretty much say you can place them wherever. But you're supposed to, I think, place them like how it would be running, like before the pain would get to the spot, to kind of block it. I can't remember on those as much, but um, yeah, they're interesting. Um, eh, they are not inexpensive though. They're not something that I think that we could afford on our own unless like we really found they work. I've bought some of the Kylo sells like a more permanent one that's on a thick plastic that they print onto, and then they have like kind of temporary, like they're on like a Tyvek type of envelope paper, um, and they last for like a few weeks. But the more you use them and the more you have to reapply the sticky and pull it off, they kind of start to get really worn out. Now, and they're less expensive though. And when those first came out, we bought a number of them because they were doing like a half price sale. So we bought those. But all of this stuff is not inexpensive. So if it's not working for you, I would say don't continue to do it, right? But I think if it works for you and it's worth it, then you can look into those kind of things. But for us, my mom and aunt get them, and we are the beneficiaries of that sometimes, that they get passed on. Some of them get passed on to us. So we get to try these things that normally we would never get to try because they are not within our budget to do something like that very often. Um, but like I said, um, in some, like I said, the Kylo often worked better than like Tylenol and stuff for me, depending, like for lower back pain and stuff like that. I can't take ibuprofen anymore, so they worked really well. This little vibe thing, we're gonna see how it goes, but I feel like it works pretty well for certain things. It has an anti-anxiety setting, and I don't know that that always works for me. I've tried it a few times. This morning I have to say did pretty well, but I also took my CBD this morning. So, because I did try it this morning too. So, it's whatever works for you. I do the CBD, I do a combination of vitamins and herbs and things like that for my anxiety, as well as actual medication. Um, let's see. Ba, ba, ba. Oh, I said, oh, where was it here? So, oh, there it is. Susie says your mom and aunt put a lot of research into things. They really do. Um, my mom has always liked natural remedies. Ever since I was young, she would have like, before the internet, she had piles of magazines that talked about natural remedies and things that we're trying. And she loved researching vitamins and minerals and if anyone had a problem, she had a vitamin recommendation for them. And we always grew up taking our vitamins and trying different things. And, like when my grandmother had cancer, she had surgery for it. They left cancer in her body because it was too close to an artery to remove. They were going to go in and do radiation. They left markers right beside the cancer so they could target it with radiation. My mom and aunt put her on a regimen of various, foods, fruits, vegetables, certain pills, a lot of different minerals and herbs and vitamins. And they went to Target and her for radiation. They got her all set up and they went to look and they said, the cancer is not there. There's nothing to target anymore. So they really do a lot of research. Um, you know, uh, we're very thankful that that worked out for my grandmother. They had her taking a lot of things, but in the end, it apparently made her immune system strong enough that it fought it all off itself. So, and she was at that time, I think, in her late 70s, mid to late 70s when they did that. Um, so, excuse me. So we grew up, my brother and I, taking vitamins and knowing a lot. My mom to this day continues to research. My aunt does the same things. Um, they're not afraid to try new things like these things that some other people might dismiss, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't. But if they work for you, that's what it's about. Andrew says, I found some of the stickers. Oh, good. That's really good. Andrew says Salonpas works awesome. Yes, there's also Salonpas. Andrew swears by those. He loves those. Um, the actual brand, the generic ones usually don't stick very well for him. But the Salonpas brand, Andrew loves those. Those are a thing that, those have like a medicated ointment in them that works really well. And he loves Salonpas. Andrew just said the generic ones don't stick to my skin, though, right? Hello, Angela. Thanks for joining us. Marianne says those women do take good care of you. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They offer us all these things um, that normally we would not be able to do. I won't say that. We maybe could, but would we do that? I don't know. I don't know. Would we make a budget for that? I don't know. But we get to try these things and we know what works for us, and that helps a lot. It helps a lot. Um, so that is that. Um, ba, ba, ba. Do, do, do. Okay, sorry, checking my email to make sure I'm pretty caught up with things. Tried to catch up as much as I could between yesterday and today. So hopefully I got back to you if you sent an email. If I didn't, maybe try resending just to make sure I got it. If you have anything that you have questions on. Diane says, I've used Salonpas for 45 years. Yes. I think it was you. You told me about doing them on your sinuses, right? Or above for headaches. I thought you said above the eyes or on the lower eye. I can't remember if it was above or below the eyes. Um, but um, yeah, that's Andrew swears by them. I try not to use them too much because I hate to take Andrew's supply of them because they work so well for him, and they are one of the things that he really swears by. When he's out of Salonpas, it's like it starts to be emergency time to go get some more. So I try not to use too many of them, but they do seem to work really well. And like I said, I don't know why I don't use them as much, but they do work when I use them. They're good, but I think they work for Andrew really well. They work for him a lot. Um, Diane says yes, above and below. Okay, so that's I was like, was it one or the other? Yeah. Um, I haven't tried that yet because I've not had that severe of a headache since then. Um, but I have that in mind for the next time that I have like a 2 or 3 day long headache or a migraine. Because Diane mentioned putting them above and below the eyes, cutting up the Salonpas and putting them there. So I'm going to try that if I need to. Um, but yeah, so that's what's going on. That's what's happening, and the wild things we get into these days, right? But um, like I said, I can't talk too long today. I've already talked probably longer than I should. We're going to get started taking a look at things today before I have to go to my pottery class. So let's go ahead and flip the camera around. Please keep the conversation going. If you have any questions, if you have anything you'd like to say, talk about the items you see. If you have any questions and I don't answer them while we're going through, please feel free to ask. It definitely helps to keep the conversation going. Right now, surprisingly, we have 15 people watching during the afternoon. That is a lot for our afternoon because we normally only go afternoon once a week, and people generally aren't on that schedule. Or a lot of our, you know, AG fam usually watches in the evening. So it's nice to have all of you. Now we're up to 16 people. It's nice to have you all out here and watching on a Wednesday afternoon. That's good news for us because numbers were starting to go lower and lower and lower over time. And now they're starting to pick up again. So, I don't know what was in the air, what was happening. Maybe the introduction of spring was getting people, I don't know. But it's nice to see the numbers going up again. Hey, Kim, thanks for joining us. And we really appreciate that. Um, And, a lot of you are telling your friends about us, and we're meeting new people, and that's awesome. We love that. And we hope that people enjoy their time with us. We enjoy our time with you. Uh, you know, I always say we wouldn't do this if we didn't. We do this because this is where, we make money this way, but also like we could invest a lot of time into our online store and pushing things out that way. And we just prefer to do this because this is all I mean, it's fun for us. I like getting on here and chatting with you all. And on the days we don't, like we put a D stash on Sunday night because it's a different way for us to hang out with you all. Like it's just a lot of fun to do. And we appreciate it so much. And we hope you enjoy your time with us as well. So I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to get started. If you've never been here with us on a Wednesday, I go to a pottery class. Um, here a little bit in a few hours. So that's why I'm at the pottery class still whenever we would normally have our live. So instead of, we used to start Andrew would start the live and then I'd come home from pottery and kind of finish. But that made for kind of a very late night for everyone. And so we now do the afternoon. It's the one day a week that we do the afternoon live because I go to pottery once a week. So that's why we do it now. If you're wondering and you're new, that's the answer. Gertie is watching, says Andrew. Gertie is super cute today. She's super cute today. Um, uh, oh, and for those of you who know our friend Barb, who used to help us with packing and shipping, she has been in touch. And hopefully next month we're going to get together a little bit. So it'll be nice to see her. She's mostly down in Florida these days, but she also has her grandkids in Georgia. Um, and so she's been running around quite a bit, it sounds like. And I think one of her daughters is still up here. So but it's been a while since we've seen her. So that's exciting. Um, that we're gonna get to see her. We haven't seen her in a long time, but she seems like she's having a really, really good, fun time and good life right now. Andrew says it's nice to see people who can't watch in the evenings. Yeah, that's another thing is we do often see people here during the live that we don't see in the evenings. If you can't watch late at night, which in some areas of the country is not very late at night, but we do understand we get into 10, 11 o'clock on this side of the US, and it does get kind of late for some people, right? So for um, those of you who watch because you can't watch then, thank you for watching us now. And if you're out there, say hi. Don't be afraid. Marianne says that will be nice for you to see Barb. Yes, it will. Andrew says retirement is treating her well. I think so. And we're super happy for her that she got to do that. She had some rough jobs, um, rewarding but rough. And so we're very happy that she's doing well in retirement and doing the things she likes to do. That's what we hope for everybody, right? All right. I'm going to give you this special price on these. Oh, I didn't pick out a letter today. Let's do TML. Is that TML? Did I ever do that before? Let's see here. TML, which almost looks like TMI if you do it that way, but it's for the mixed lots. That's how about that? The mixed lots, because these are all mixed up. Normally we have been doing these for $14 a bag. I'm going to do them for 10. We have 6 bags. Price is going up on stuff. So the luxury bead blends, new ones coming out are going to be 14. But these are now 10. Andrew says, I think of her every day since we live in her old house. Yeah, we do. We bought our house from Barb's family. So for those of you who didn't know that, it goes even further back than her helping us pack and ship. She didn't just come out of nowhere. We've known her for many, many, many years. She was our landlord for a while we did a rent to own situation, and then we bought it from her family. And then she started helping us pack and ship for her semi-retirement, and then she's retired now. So, and she's coming to visit, and she also wants to pick up a few things. I don't know if she's getting into, she's always been a little crafty. And so we'll see if she's getting more into beading or what she's doing. And ignore my hands. I was playing with Idabelle today, and she got me. So I've got some, I've got some tears and scratches from our little black cat. This is a luxury bead blend, but it's made mostly, well, all of foil glass. Different shapes, different colors of foil glass. This one, like I said, a lot of the luxury bead blends have all different things in them, and they're great for beginner beaders because they have these bags full of stuff. And like I said, I usually use them. I usually use them in my bracelets and things that I make, like during our creative make along, which is coming up next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday. Because they have so many good things to use, because I make like asymmetrical things, and I love having such a vast variety of things to use. Now this one is all foil glass, but it all is all different colors and all different shapes and sizes. So you get a pack of these. $14 is the retail price in our luxury bead blends now. These will be 10 for you all for a bag. There are 6 bags available, TML1. If you are new and you're like, how do I buy that? You take the number TML1, the lot number, you send that to us in an email, put it in the subject line of an email, send it to info@allegorygallery.com. And that's all you have to do. If you are brand new, please also follow up with an email with your shipping address so we know where to ship to. If you're in Pennsylvania, we have to charge that tax. If you do send us an email, you are promising to take it. Please do not send us an email for every single lot because you want to win them all and then take your pick later, because that's a good way to get kicked out of the program. So just send us what you want. Everything is first come, first serve. And please send a brand new email every time. Please never reply to an old email to send a new one, ever. It just collates things in my inbox in the bad way, and you miss out on almost everything. So just send a brand new email every time. So that's it. Put the lot number in a subject line of an email, send that email to info@allegorygallery.com. Send a brand new email every time, and only send an email when you really want it. All right. And I will invoice at the end of every show. Sometimes today, because I'm running to my pottery class right after the live, sometimes I don't invoice until tonight or tomorrow morning. But most days I invoice the night of, and you'll get it via Square, which you can pay with a credit card. It has afterpay options if you qualify. That's not up to us. We have no input in that. But if you apply and you get that, you can pay with overtime. All right. Let's see here. Andrew says, I first met her when I was doing local shows when we first started the store. Yeah, Andrew met her even before that. Len is here. Hello, Len. Thanks for joining us. Has moved over from Facebook. Hello, hello. I didn't know you were over there. I don't think I saw any comments, so thank you for being here. Let's see here. And she was selling an all-natural skincare line. Oh, I think I remember that. Forgot about that. Andrew says, I met her brother on a group about Idlewild. Apparently he worked there as a teenager. Nice. Her brother's very nice too. Does not live around here. Okay. Let's see. What's up next? TML2. I may as well do the other luxury bead blend. Let me find it in my bag. While I'm talking about all this, I pulled this one. It was one that I had over there. I have 4 of these available. So again, they 14 normally, dropping it down to 10. 4 of these available. We also have a lot of these luxury bead blends in the online store. So if you like them, but you're not, fond of maybe the colors I chose today or whatever, there are a lot of them in the online store, and you can purchase them there. Right now, I think they're still only $12 in the online store. They will be going up to $14 as we release new ones because prices are going up, unfortunately. Um, so this one is full of beautiful things. There's some crystal in here. There's vintage Czech glass. There are, like, this looks like a kyanite leaf. So gemstones. Um, there's some more 2-hole gemstones. There's some vintage sequins in there. Just a lot of beautiful things. Let me see. I do have, I can dump some of this out. Look at the assortment of things in here. Just chips. You've got vintage Czech glass. There's some mini daggers or mini feathers in there. Some pearlescent beads in there, seed beads. Um, this looks like some of the vintage Czech glass we had yesterday in some of the lots. You have this one, and all these are going to be different. Just because you see it in this one doesn't mean it's going to be in another one, but this is just an example showing you what could be in yours and the kinds of things we put in them. There's some cathedral cut vintage Czech. Beautiful things. This looks like coral bead tube. I'm not sure what stone or that is, but super cool. So this is TML2, and you get the whole bag of them for $10. And we have 4 of this colorway available. And like I said, those are great when I'm making my bracelets. There's a little bit of something. I can throw some daggers in there, but I don't want a whole strand of daggers. Look at that little goodness right there. It looks like African or Indonesian glass. I can throw a few sequins in here and there. These are just great things to be able to add. You never know what you're going to get in them. I mean, you have an idea of what might be in there, but just great for odds and ends. And we have some people who make things just out of this. You can add to this, of course, but we do have people who get just these and make beautiful things. So if you like those, you can grab those today. All right. That's the end of the luxury bead blends here, but you can check out at allegorygallery.com. Andrew says the bags make a lot of sense. They do. It's a good investment because you don't have to buy a whole strand of everything, right? You get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Len says, busy morning, forgot it was Wednesday, multitasking. I hear that. You're probably especially busy. Next up, these were $24. I'm going to bring them down to 20 for you. Let me check and see how many of these we have left. And this is when you just want to try something out, right? You don't want everything. You don't want a whole strand of everything. These are so pretty. I'm going to give you a good price on these. $20. These are a coated topaz. Angela says, I'm looking through my special little bag. The little ones can intimidate me. The little ones can, the little beads. Yeah, sometimes the little beads are hard to use for some people, right? But they're good to have for spacers, good to have for lots of beautiful things. Don't be intimidated. Throw them on, and you'll be amazed. That's how I make my bracelets and things, is I just start throwing things on sometimes and creating some patterns and sorting a little bit, but I like to throw things together and see what happens. And sometimes you find things that you wouldn't normally do that way. And these bead blends are a beautiful way to do that. This is a coated topaz, micro-faceted round. Look how beautiful those are. They look like apatite, but they're coated topaz. They're a little bit heavier than apatite. Nancy says the tinier, the better for me. Yeah, Nancy likes the small stuff, right? These aren't too small. These are in between, but these are a nice size. I think they're 3, 1, 2. Yeah, they're about 3 millimeters. So not too small, not too big. You know, 4 is starting to get pretty big for microfaceted, but they're nice to. I mean, there's a time for everything, but 2s on these, 2.5, they're really small. Andrew says, I'm working on a new mix. I have a bunch of stuff we've never bagged up. Yeah, he's working on it. And like I said, prices are going to start going up on those. So um, we normally do them at 12. I think they're in the online store right now for 12. Usually you can get a discount code if you sign up for our email list or our text message list. You get 10 to 15% off a lot of times. Our system is automated and it kind of entices you to do that if you want. And you can save a little bit on those, but they will be going up to $14. And these are, like I said, coated topaz. They are 3 millimeter. They are 13-inch strands, and there are 3 of them available. TML 3. Blue topaz. Beautiful. And the coating on them is just that kind of a little bit of a silvery to make it a little extra oomph. But they're beautiful, beautiful beads. Now, I know some of you love you some Prasiolite. Let's see. Marion says, even at $14, the blends are awesome. Yeah, we try and keep the cost low. You know we do. Um, but thank you for saying that. We appreciate that. Because we always worry when we have to do a price increase. But I think you get a lot for your money in those. You can work out of those for quite some time. Andrew says, some of our mixes only have bigger beads like TRL1. Sometimes I make mixes of only seed beads. Yeah. And if you go into our online store, you'll see a nice combination of things. If you search luxury bead blends, I think there's actually a menu item in the shop menu that is luxury bead blends, and you can find them there. We call them bead blends, not mixes anymore. So many people started using mixes, and we were like, we don't want to be compared to other people because we think pretty highly of ours and that we do a good job on them. So we call them luxury bead blends because that's what they are. They're a little bit more luxury than a lot of other places you'll see. At least we think so. I'm going to give you a really good price on this because there's only one left. This is Prasiolite. This is TML4. It was $26, bringing it all the way down to $20. These are Prasiolite squares. They're like a square heishi, is oftentimes what they're called. And they're cut into little squares, and they're like a little heishi, like half a cube or so. If you were going to double that, it'd be like a cube. Half cubes, I don't know, but square heishis. This is a long strand. It is Prasiolite, which is also called green amethyst, for those of you who don't know. This is a 16-inch strand. This is a big, long strand of beautiful square cut Prasiolite. I love the square cut because you can see, I often like using this in necklaces or bracelets in chunks like this, because then you get a little bit, you can actually see the kind of design with them. You can use them as spacers in every other, between every bead. But if you use them in chunks like this, you kind of get a cool mixture of different edges sticking out and things like that. And they're fun to make earrings with too. So one strand only of those available, TML4. We've sold one of the 3 so far. Thank you so much. Sorry, I keep coughing. My allergies, my eyes have been itching out of my head lately. So I know my allergies are really starting to act up. I've been trying not to scratch my eyes, but they're so itchy right now. Andrew says, I still call them mixes because I think of them like spices. Yeah. Andrew says, I'll usually look at a picture or think of a memory and try to translate it into a combination of beads. Yeah, Andrew calls them mixes. We call them luxury bead blends when I publish them. But yeah. But you'll often hear Andrew say his mixes. It's just the way he thinks about it when he's doing it. But to kind of separate them from the rest of the world, we've kind of changed our name on them. Because I think they are a little more luxury than what you get just anywhere. All right. This is Himalayan rock crystal hand cut melon beads. I'm I I I'm gonna give you I'm gonna give you a little discount on these. I can't go too low. This is a really kind of major strand. This came from Andrew's private stock from his cabinet that he saves and collects things in. Um, Marianne says, I call mixed spices a blend. See, there you go. Um, Mary or May says, well, the AGB fam does like food. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Oh, we've sold number 4. So I'm going to put that away since there wasn't only one of those. Thank you so much. I'm going to grab that and toss it in my bag. Okay. This is TML5, $98, but this is a gigantic strand of this Himalayan rock crystal, quartz crystal. It is hand carved into melon shapes. You can see kind of that rough carving, which I love. It's so rustic and beautiful. That's the kind of stuff like I just want to put like 1 or 2 of these in a necklace or a bracelet, or this is a great thing to put one of them on a chain. And now the holes in these are not giant, y'all. This fools you. The I don't know if I can show you. And I think we're back, y'all. Sorry about that. It totally signed me out. Yeah, back up. Okay, let's go here. Mary says, apparently they didn't want you to show us. I know, right? Um, Andrew says, I think they make that cord like that if you want to wear it in a necklace so it doesn't cut into your neck. Yes. It's strung up really nicely already. But as Andrew said, they're not teeny tiny holes. I don't mean to say that I mean, that's 2 pieces of wire at least going through there. They're not super teeny tiny, but I just don't want anyone thinking that the holes are like this big through those. Marianne says, you are back. Good, thank you. So this is the Himalayan rock crystal hand cut into melons. And we've got 1 strand available. This is 1 big strand too. This is 20 inches. 20 inches, not counting this. And they are also graduated. So you get these 2 tiny ones up here, which are 10 millimeters, but then it starts mainly at about 16 or 17 millimeters. And one of the biggest ones down here goes to about 20. So there they are. They're beautiful. I love the color of these. Andrew said he thought he took this back already. He hasn't claimed it back yet, but he said now if they don't sell today, he is taking it back. He regrets putting this up for sale, maybe. So you get 1 chance at it. It's $98 down from 110. Somebody tried to just grab the TML4 again. I'm sorry, it already sold out. But this is available, TML5. You want to work with some big old beads. They're beautiful. They're one of my favorite things we've got right now because I love this kind of rustic look of stuff. But if they don't sell, Andrew's putting them back in his display case. Ancient looking, says Marianne. They do, right? They look good. I like it. They look like they've been through some stuff. I feel that some days. All right, TML6. These are only $10 each. These are vintage Czech glass. And I pulled these because I think they match some of the Czech glass that we had yesterday and some of those rounds. Remember, we had the kind of yellow ones with that kind of amber coating in the rounds. And I think these would go really well if you wanted to mix and match those. Can you imagine some of those round ones in between these? They'd be really cool together. So if you grabbed those last night, or if you didn't, go back and check the replay. Like I said, we're only giving you a little bit of time. I don't even want to say a few days, but a little bit of time to replay yesterday's, because Andrew's putting those trays back, and then it gets very confusing where they all went. So we forget very quickly. So grab them by watching a replay soon if you didn't. These are 15 millimeters by 13 approximately. And you get one strand of these for $10. 3 strands available. Jen Radiates is here. Says, I was waiting on Facebook and never saw a post, so I came here. I'm sorry you didn't see the post. I don't know why. Facebook does that though sometimes. Usually Facebook sets up an event now for these. There's a live tab, but it doesn't actually show the video under the live tab until you end it. So Facebook, you can find our events under the event tab most of the time. And then if you hit interested or going to the event, it'll give you a notification most of the time. But welcome, Jen. I'm glad you found us on YouTube. Please, everyone, make sure you subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Facebook. It really does help. We appreciate that. Let's see here. So let's see. Okay. Wow. We've got 20 some people watching for a Wednesday afternoon. This is like a record. So thank you all for being here. We really appreciate that. Usually our Wednesday afternoons are the slowest of our days, and this has been the busiest of almost the busiest of the week so far. So we appreciate that so much. Thank you for watching. We get a number of people who watch the replays, but watching the lives on Wednesday is especially usually lower. Okay, so we also had yesterday some corner drilled cubes, and I found some more. And we're just giving you a heck of a good price on these right now. The good thing is, Jen, you found us here, and so far we still have everything that's available from 1 out on the table. 4 has sold out. We sold a few of the 3s, but we still have at least one of those left. So you're caught up, other than missing the chit chat at the beginning. But we appreciate that so much. This is whoa. This is a lot. This is a lot. Andrew made this lot one time ago, and you get all of these for $18. I should have split this up probably, but I'm just going to do it like this in case somebody wants it. We've tried it before. Nobody's grabbed it. So I'm going to try it one more time. Other than that, it's going to be split up like we did yesterday. But excuse me, these are vintage Czech glass, and they are corner drilled cubes. And these ones, from corner to corner, as they would lay, are about 11 millimeters. 11 millimeters, and they're kind of in this almost smoky quartz with a little bit of green color. You know, sometimes smoky quartz looks a little green. That's what these kind of remind me of. I am not counting them. Oh, it's Jen Williams. Okay. Nice. Thank you for joining us. I didn't know who you were on YouTube. I don't remember ever seeing that name. So thanks for joining us there. Andrew says we were playing Knockout and I was trying to free up a tray. Yeah, so that's why there's so many of them in here. That is a good deal, especially, we couldn't do the things last night. We didn't have as many of the cubes last night to do something like that. So giving you a really good deal on those, you get the whole bunch of them for $18 only. And I'm going to plug in my heater here because I'm getting a little bit chilly. Believe it or not. Let me plug this in. It's starting to rain here at the cottage, and it is a little bit chilly. It's that time of year where you're like turning on heaters some parts of the day and air conditioners on other parts of the day, and um it's it's just like you know um we had we started at the cottage yesterday with the heaters on, then I turned them off, then it started getting too hot, so we turned on the air conditioners, and then it got too cold, so we turned them off, and now they're like, I'm trying to not turn them on again as far as turn the heaters on, but now it's getting chilly. I might have to turn the heaters back on. I'm trying to let just like kind of the heat of the day keep things warm, but I might have to turn the heaters on again. It's so bizarre. Anderson, did you see my comments about not being able to get the quartz anymore? No. Let me refresh this because those must have sped by or happened when I was offline. Oh, Anderson says I got it from a vendor who isn't coming back to the US anymore. Okay. She said she's doing the Hong Kong show instead of Tucson. So that's why, yeah. So this is why Andrew's taking this back if it doesn't sell today. Because that is going to be going away. Obviously, we've just sold 7, the green gray cubes. Thank you so much. I'm going to scoop those up here and put them in their bag, and put those away so that nobody else gets distracted or thinks they're still available. Mary Ann says it may rain here tonight and tomorrow, but at least it isn't snow. Yes, at least it isn't snow. And it's not getting down to freezing, I don't think. So that's a plus. It's some nights I think it's going to be close to freezing, but not quite freezing. Jen says it's okay. I was worried about you guys, no video on Facebook, and finally thought to come here. It's cold and rainy here in Lancaster too. That's weird you couldn't find, because Andrew's on Facebook and it's working okay over there for him. I don't know. I don't know why. You never know. You never know what's going on. May says I wore my heavy jacket just 2 days ago. Now it's t-shirt weather. I know, it's bizarre, but it's spring. That's definitely spring in Pennsylvania. It's the way it works around here. TML8. This was 28. I'll give you a little discount. Can't do too much. These are some nice crystal. Andrew says, I don't know if other vendors will have them, but I know she's not coming back because she had such a hassle this past year. Andrew said, there's 5 of us here on Facebook. Oh, good. Thank you all for being here. I know Diane was there earlier too. I don't know who else is out there on Facebook land, but thank you for being there. Andrew says, at least that I can see. Good. Thank you. Thank you. I made an event today and I didn't share it. It seems like when I share the event, nobody sees it. But the last 2 times I've not had the chance to share the event, that I kind of just set it up and went live, we've gotten more people watching. So maybe that's the way to do it. Stop sharing the events and maybe more people will come. I don't know. It's so weird. TML8, Diane says, I'm here. Thank you for being here. TML8 are these crystal. You get the whole strand of them. The whole strand of them means, oh my goodness, this is too big even for 4 times around. Let me do this. I gotta hold this because it's too big. So this is, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we do? 8. what is 8 times 7? 56, is that right? About 56 inches, probably a little bit longer because that doesn't count all the wrapping that it does like that. Andrew says we be skipping rope with that one. It's a long one. I know, right? You also get those little beautiful gold spacers in between there. But this is vintage, I think vintage Czech crystal, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But it's really pretty. It's got that kind of blue and white dual color, gray, blue, probably gray and white with that kind of blue AB or blue metallic finish on the gray portion of it. So it gives you that sparkle and shine. And these crystals are 8mm. 8? Is that right? Yes, 8mm, and you get the whole 56 to 60-inch strand of them for $24. Oh, Andrew says they're Chinese crystal. So there you go. Chinese crystal, y'all. All right. Just got an email that one of the shows that we do in Pittsburgh, the applications to apply to be a vendor are open. So we got to work on that if we're going to go this year. Excuse me. Marianne says 8 is pretty. It's really pretty. You know, it's just, I know this is maybe it's more of a winter thing. I don't know, but it also would go really well with Cloud Dancer because it's got that white, but also like a stormy cloud. I think you could really play with the idea of Cloud Dancer and, white puffy clouds, but also stormy clouds. Throw that gold color in there, and you've also got the golden lining on the clouds. It's like truly a cloud dancer all the time. Andrew said they developed these to compete with S-word. Okay, so there you go. They're meant to be sparkly and nice to compete with that, with the S-word. Now they don't even have to compete with S-word because they stopped. Let's see here. Jennifer says, hi, I see you were on the store page and not the design challenge group because I didn't share it into the group. Apparently nobody else shared it for us either. But yes, we are on the store page. We always start from the store page. Usually I try and share it into the group, but I didn't today because I ran out of time and we got more people than ever watching. So maybe I'll stop sharing. I don't know. Kim says, wouldn't those Chinese crystals be so pretty with blue or gray pearls? Yes, they would. If I had any to show you, I would. Ooh, it's thundering outside. I hear the thunder. May says, it has such a nice finish and color. Never saw this before. I know, right? They're so nice. Some of them are more sparkly or saturated than S-word, Andrew says. They didn't really stop. They just stopped selling to craft vendors. I know they didn't stop making it, but it's going to be harder and harder for craft people to buy these. These look nice. You can get them right here, y'all, for cheap. $24 for the 56 at least inch strand. Okay, I'm gonna put these back. Nobody's grabbed any of these luxury bead blends. You're missing out, y'all. You're missing out. That's okay. Maybe they're not your thing. Check our online store to see all different colors. All right, I'm gonna put 3 away as well. That's the coated topaz. We still have one of those available. Beautiful coated topaz, only $20 a strand, 13-inch strands on those. 3mm microfaceted rondelle or rounds. Rounds? Rounds. Kind of round. Kind of rondelle. Sometimes they blur the line. I'm gonna move these down. Oh, we just sold 8. Thank you so much. Those are gone. I didn't think with everybody talking about them, I was like, surely somebody's going to grab. Isn't that weird? We've been talking about these for quite a while now. And now 2 emails come in for them at the same exact time. One of y'all got them. We always take how it comes into the email inbox because that's the technical first one. Thank you so much. Andrew says, no, they still sell to craft people. They're just under a new name. The reps from S Word are still selling, but they're not allowed to call it S Word. Oh, mercy. Marion says, I already have TML1 and red and blue doesn't work for me. Well, yeah. The red and blue is great for, you know, 4th of July here. Just add some white. Like, maybe like, imagine like red, white, and blue together, right? Like that, something like that. So there you go. Let's see here. Susan says TML5 is so beautiful. It belongs to Andrew, though. It only belongs to Andrew if nobody buys it today. Andrew put it up for sale. don't think that you can't grab it because it belongs to Andrew. I'll sell it, y'all. No, that's a nice thought, but we would go broke if we all thought that everything, because all of this belongs to Andrew. This all comes from private stash. Just some of it more private than others sometimes. TML. These are already, this is already the old price. Andrew says, or add gold for Wonder Woman. There you go, right? Andrew says, they just reduced the line and changed the name, but the reps are the same. They also really did a lot of prominent designers wrong. That's a shame. Let's see here. Marianne says, it might work okay with TML8, right? Da, da, da. TML9. TML9, $28 for these vintage check glass, large table cut, dual color. They have 2 colors, but it almost comes out to 3 because they've got that red in the middle and the blue on the outside, but then the red and blue together combined make a purple color. So you got that, also that purple color that shows in there. Andrew says, I think S Word is trying to become a luxury brand, so they're trying to distance themselves from DIY. Yeah, they pretty much said that. That's pretty much what they're doing. Len says, blue and red, add green, and make Christmas. There you go. I love these beads. These are big, chunky, vintage check glass beads. TML 9, $28 a strand. These are 15 millimeter beads. And this is, as you can see, the old price. No inflation on these. We're just giving you the price they were way back when, 90s, 2000s, somewhere in there. TML 9. Don't eat the beads. I know, right? Marion says, I also don't do Christmas. Len says, solstice, yo, right? Use them for something. Andrew says, can you turn the heater on in the metals room to dry it out? I'm gonna hit the microphone here. Actually, no, I cannot because it's on my phone and it will disrupt the live. I can only turn on the air conditioning because we set the air conditioner, I think, last. But I'll turn it on before I leave. But I can't do it right now. All right, this is TML 10. This is a Raku pendant by Harry Wood. And I love this kind of wave motif. Andrew says, okay, plug the dehydrator in, please. Okay, let me go do that. You want me to do that now or before I leave? This is by Harry Wood, and this is a wave raku pendant. And this is 47 by 47 millimeters. And it's lovely. Okay, I'm gonna go plug in the dehydrator right now. I'll be right back, y'all. And I'm back. All right. If they get moist, they'll start flaking. All good. Plugged in now. Kim says, I've been wanting those purple beads ever since you first started showing them. Oh, the 28 or the nines. I'm sorry, the nines. Thank you. I did read your email and you did send TML 28. So if you send another email, that would be helpful. Just say TML 9, because even though I'm going to know that that's in the wrong place, I'm not going to know which it was. So TML 9, please send another email. That happens a lot. If people transpose, I think we even talked about that, or you talked about that in an email we wrote. People do that all the time. TML 9 for $28. Let's see here. Let's see here. Len says, me too, Kim. Both sizes. I know. I think we had these in 2 different sizes, right? Andrew says, sorry to interrupt the show. I just don't want to lose all that work. No, we don't want you to lose all that work either. Marianne says, you were determined to make me want them, aren't you, Len? Nice. Nice. All right. Where am I at here? I was showing this. Isn't this pretty? Beautiful pendant by Harry, Raku pendant. It is larger, but it is super duper light. If you know Raku clay, it's a light clay. And this is super thin too. So even though it's a bigger piece, this is like, you could almost use this as an earring. I'm not kidding. It's very light. But it's lovely. And it's got this beautiful wave design. Love that. Came out really nice. Thank you, Harry, for sending us those beautiful things. Let's what are we doing here? We had 65 on these. I will bring them down to 55. Excuse me, because there's only one strand of these available. Yeah. Whoa, rock quartz almost on the ground. We don't want to do that. Andrew says, I'm kind of having a slow start to the day. Kind of headachy. It's probably because the storms are coming. They're not just coming. I think they're here. I don't know if they're here yet or not. So they also keep trying to send an email to TML. Yeah, then that's it. You gotta send an email to us. Okay. Yeah. Our system is a little bit different, but it works really well for us and gets you the beads, right? This is a beautiful moonstone. Now, whether you call this like chocolate moonstone or peach moonstone. To me, it's kind of in between the two. It's like the deepest peach moonstone I've ever seen, or the reddish chocolate moonstone I've ever seen. I don't know what you want to call it. It's very unusual. And I adore this strand because I've not seen moonstone like this before. It's just such a pretty different color. It's like not quite chocolate, but a little bit out of even peach's range, right? Andrew says it reminds me of Indian corn, right? Let's see here. At least it's not TRL. Now I want my MTV. Andrew says, looks like the pattern is based off the Japanese woodblock by Hokusai. That's what I always think of when I think of this. I'm not sure if it is or not. I think it is. I think Harry wrote one time that it is. But look at these. Look how pretty these are. Such a lovely color. You don't have to adjust your screens, y'all. That is the color. It is an unusual colored moonstone, and I love it so much. This strand is 16 inches. It comes on this kind of sliding knot strand from India. And you can see, made in India. You can use it like this, or you can just cut that off. They make it so that you could cut this off and reuse it if you wanted to. It's already looped. You just cut this part off down here, and then you could reuse those if you want to. Andrew says, oh, the rain is really coming down. Yeah, it's thundering up here. I can't see if it's lightning or not, but it's thundering for sure. It's really raining. So this is TML 11. These beads are about 8 millimeters. 8 millimeter, beautiful moonstone. One strand available, so I'm giving you a discount. Normally, it's hard for us to discount these. $65, take it down to $55 for y'all. Okay, y'all, TML 5. Last chance. It's going in the bag, and then I'm going to take it over to Andrew's office after the live here tonight. We'll give anybody doing a replay a chance to get it, but if nobody grabs it in the next like 24 hours, it will be Andrew's. From 110 down to 98 from a vendor that we will not see anymore because it's been made too difficult for them to import things right now. Putting that away. Also putting TML 6 away. Len says the waves are rendered in a different if they are Japanese versus Korean. Fun to compare in art. Nice. Andrew says you can hang it up on my wall. Okay, we'll hang it up on his wall in his new studio over here. We'll give the replayers a chance to get it. Maybe. Andrew may just take it back. Sometimes he does that. He's like, nope, just do it. Just do it right now. It's gonna be mine. TML 12. TML 12. $31. This is a vintage strand of this beautiful check glass. $31 was the old price. We're giving you the old price. This is this peachy green, gorgeous color. And I love this shape. It's kind of wave-like, but this is a smooth bead. It's actually just in the glass underneath what probably is kind of a clear or light green coat. And it's so Fun. I love it, love it, love it. One of those available. Last one left, $31. Andrew says, I think those glow. I don't have a black light to see for sure. 2, 4, 6, 8 beads on the strand. Really cool color. Really cool style. Vintage check glass, TML 12. Last strand of those available. I didn't think we had any of the green left, but we have the one strand left. Jen says, the style of bead always reminds me of fossil creatures. They kind of do, right? Or like a roly-poly or an armadillo. Yeah, kind of like that kind of look. Okay, what do I got next? Andrew said, that's not from the bag in the metals room, is it? No, I didn't go into the bag in the metals room. I didn't go into the bag in the metals room. I found this in my bags. Hopefully nothing happened at any point, but no, I did not go in there. I don't steal things out of there. Not yet. No. All right. One strand of these available. This is a beautiful coated moonstone. These, we got some of these at one point. This is like a restock. These were so popular. I don't know if I still have these on the website or not, but we kept selling out of these. But they're coated like a platinum coating over a moonstone smooth nugget, and they are gorgeous. They have that kind of a little bit extra because of that coating, but they have beautiful chatoyance from the moonstone by itself, and then you get an extra bling on that kind of silvery platinum coating they do on those. And I mean, look at these moonstones together. Like, wouldn't that look at how beautiful those are? Work with those together. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It brings out all the kind of rich tones in some of these darker ones. Just pulls those right out when you set them together. And this strand is a 16-inch strand. And these nuggets are approximately 10 by 13 or so millimeters. Is that one? They do vary because they are just nuggets. Andrew says I'd put those with pearls. Ooh, yeah. I really need to get some pearls sitting beside me. This is the second time today I could have compared these with some pearls. But stunningly gorgeous. Only one strand of those available. Like I said, there might be, let me just check here real quick. I have them in the online store. I used to, and I don't know if I still do. I think, well, I'm down to the sold out stuff. So if I did have them, they're all sold out. No, I don't even have them in the online store anymore. So this is the last chance to get these. We haven't gotten them from our vendor in a year or so. So I think the vendor is out of these too. So this is it. Last strand of those. Marion says, funny, a roly-poly to me is a British dessert cake. Oh boy. Andrew said, there's some in my room along the wall in the plastic bins in the middle. Along the wall in the plastic bins in the middle. Hold on, let me look. I didn't find them in plastic bins, but I found these by the bookcase. Look at these. Look at this strand. That's one massive strand of beautiful pearls. But look at these. Oh, look at these with the pearls. Super duper beautiful. So pretty. So there you go. Pearls. These are actually also really beautiful with the pearls. Look at that. Some nice moonstone today in the show. Still unsold though. Nobody's jumped at it yet. Maybe a lot of you have some of these, especially because we did restock those at one point. Andrew said Tallulah is feeling sorry for herself. Oh, Tallulah, my little baby Tallulah. Did they name the British dessert cake after the little thing? Did they? I don't know. Andrew says maybe some chocolate, pearls, or copper. Yeah, with this, just the other day, I don't know. Is it in the, oh, I think it's in the D stash. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. I think there are copper pearls in the D stash right now. A very long, beautiful strand. Let me jump up here and see. Yes, they are. Let me show you if I can. I can't put them together because I don't have them here, but I can maybe grab them if I can find them. And let's see. Oh, it brought it in the wrong way, but here they are. And can you imagine those with those? Super beautiful together. Or if you have this kind of red, rusty, almost coppery color pearl, this is a big long strand we have in the D stash for 118 down from, I think it was, say, 138. And you could put those together. They'd be really pretty together. That's an Andrew Thornton Project D stash on Facebook. If you haven't joined that group, you can. Andrew says, are you going to be able to go to class tonight with all this weather? Sometimes roads get closed. We'll see. We'll see. So far, my teacher has not told me about any closed roads. Marion says, no, the alternate name is shirt sleeve pudding. It's a steamed suet pudding that is rolled like a jelly roll. Huh. Huh. I could still see that looking like a roly-poly bug. Let's see here. Okay, let me make sure I'm not missing anybody over here on Facebook because I did walk away and my comments don't always show up. Okay, there we go. All right, we're good. Let's keep moving. I gotta keep moving. I'm slowing down, running around all around here. I gotta get going. So far, my running around isn't for much. Nobody's grabbing those, so we're just gonna keep on keeping on, y'all. Another one of my favorite vintage check glass that we have are these kind of blue, gray, brown, which again, maybe not. I thought they'd go with that, but as soon as you do that, kind of the green comes out of those. But this, ooh. Now that's lovely. I wonder if we could play, maybe, I might think about some of those more kind of red ones. But that definitely, that hits right there. Look at that beautiful combination. that raku and that vintage check glass. This check glass, these beads are kind of about 12 by 24. These kind of look like to me, they kind of look like a mussel. Don't they kind of look like a mussel shell? That's what I think about when I see these. I think they're kind of cool, which kind of really goes with the sea theme here, right? Andrew said they say slaps now. That really slaps. It just sounds ridiculous. Your roly-polies here are called sow bugs, potato bugs, or pill bugs. Some people call them pill bugs here too. Some people do use pill bug. Ooh, that rain. It's getting wild. All right, I'm going to put TML 9 away. We've sold one of those, but we still do have one left. Last one that we have, I think Andrew took one of those for himself at one point, so that'll be it on that. I'm going to go ahead and put away that Raku pendant by Harry, TML 10. Only $18 on that. Handmade ceramic by our friend Harry Wood. I'm going to go ahead and also put away, let's see here, this beautiful color moonstone. Potato bugs are different in PA. They're brown. I don't know if I know what necessarily a potato bug is. Even though I've grown up here my whole life, practically. All right, I'm going to move these down. I'm going to move this down. I'm going to move this down. Okay, TML 15. Okay, let's see here. What's next in my bag of goodies? These are only, this is a really good price, $9, and there are 5 of them available. And they're these vintage check glass. Andrew says, we had them on the grapevine one year. They're probably a type of beetle. Potato bug, potato beetle. Beautiful. Green and brown. And we're back. I'm wondering if the storm is doing something to our internet. Because those are some long disconnections. Andrew said they have striped. Oh, I know which ones you mean now, like the brown and white. Yeah, the stripy ones. I do remember those. Len says TML 14 is really awesome, is really an awesome neutral in that taupe way. It'd be great with beachy beads. Yeah. Really pretty. And then these, I think it's a blue glass actually, with the finish on it is kind of a green brown. But I think the base glass is a light blue. Kind of like the Tiffany blue color. Really pretty. The beads on these are about 10 by 20 millimeters. TML 15, $9. This is another one Andrew's probably going to take back at some point. Let's see what I can do with this. This was $148. I'll give you, we'll do it for 120. How about that? 120. Andrew said that one's perfect for Mermay, right? Anybody doing Mermay? This one would be great for Mermay too. Or this one for Mermay, right? They're all good for Mermay. This is a hand cut quartz, old hand cut quartz drops. They're flat on the back, really flat on the back, and they are graduated. Oh, these are cold. You can tell they're real quartz. They are cold in my hands. And I love them. All hand cut. They graduate. This one is approximately, about 17 or so by 28. And I don't know, what's the biggest one here? This is about 30 by 22. If you love stunning quartz, this is a strand for you. All that work to hand cut them. They are not perfect. You can see, like, sometimes one of the edges is more pointy and sometimes it's not on this side. But that's kind of like the character. It gives you really cool character on these. Like, see how it's pointy here, but more flat on this side. These ones are more flat on both sides. They are hand done. Hand cut, hand faceted. We were talking about this hand faceting yesterday during the show, about how things used to be faceted by hand and they do it as they could. These have inclusions, so you know they're real quartz. It's not glass. They're also really cold to the touch. There's one strand of these available. They are $120 now, down from $148. Andrew says we should get a little fishtail for Tallulah. She can be a mermaid cat. That'd be super cute. Susan says wowzer on those. They're so nice. They are so nice. TML 17. We've had some beautiful amethyst recently, so I figured I'd pull this one in case anybody wanted to add this to their amethyst collection. TML 17. I love, love, love. This is a vintage amethyst strand. Love this. It's kind of amethyst sticks or drops. And this strand is about 16 inches. Gorgeous, gorgeous amethyst. Only $18. Was 24, now 18. Throw it in with a purple palo pendant from our online store with that purple mica. Really cool. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Let's see, picturing 12 with 15, says Jen. 12 with 15. These two, you like those two together? Yeah, look. Gorgeous together. It's got about that same color blue glass underneath there, right? Good eye. Good eye. Only one of that strand available. Still got 5 of these though. Let's see here. We just sold TML 10, which is the Raku pendant. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and put 12 away. If I can find the bag for it. Where do I get the bag for that? That's that bag. That bag. There it is. Putting that away. TML 12. Last one of that color available. Didn't even realize we had that color still available. Gonna put 13 away as well. That's the coated moonstone. Was 60 down to 52 now. And I'm gonna put TML 14 away as well. Still got 2 of those available. TML 14. Okay. Now what time is it? Ooh. I gotta stop dilly-dallying. Because I still have to stop at home yet. TML 18. I think definitely invoices are going to come out tonight or tomorrow for y'all on this one. Let's see here. These were 75. I will do them for 65. We've got 2 of these only. TML 18. These are, again, green amethyst or prasiolite. They are graduated, faceted rounds. Of beautiful green amethyst, prasiolite. And you can see one's 104 grams, one's 106. They're almost exactly the same. They are 16-inch strands without the chain. They come on a sterling silver extender chain and lobster claw, but we count the size only from the beads, like that. And this one graduates from about 5 millimeters up to the biggest one on here is about 5 to 9 millimeters. Not a huge graduation, but that makes them kind of more uniform in size, which is nice. But look at the quality of the prasiolite. Very few inclusions. This is some high-end quality here. 2 strands available. I'm going to take the other one away just to leave one of these out for you. 2 strands available. Green amethyst was 75. Bring it down to 65 for y'all. That's all we've got left on those. If you got those prasiolite squares earlier, you might like these faceted rounds too. I've got 1 strand of this left. We did it for 24 before. I'll take it down to 18 since it's 1 strand available. This is a beautiful glass strand and this bright yellow and clear glass. These kind of rectangular cushions that are faceted. I love the bright color in this, bright yellow. And oops, wrong ruler. These are about 10 by 15 millimeters. 10 by 15. One of those available, TML 19. Next up, TML 20, $10. This is Monique Indonesian lampwork glass beads in this green, yellow, and red. Beautiful strands of Monique. This is a 10-inch strand, and look how fun that would be with that one. Beautiful. Okay. One strand of these available, Monique. These are handmade Indonesian lampwork that's about 9 millimeters by about 18 per bead. One strand available, TML 20. I'm going to put 15 away. TML 15, $9. 5 of those available. Nobody grabbed any of those yet. I should check the junk mail, right? Let me check the junk mail just to make sure. Okay, doesn't look like anybody's going to junk. That's good. That's good news. All right. And I'm going to put away the hand-cut quartz. Beautiful hand-cut quartz strand. Was 148, now 120. That's a very old strand. Very old strand. And I'm going to put away the amethyst. TML 17, $18 only. One of those a bit. Okay, moving the 18, the prassiolite down, moving the yellow, clear glass strand down, and the Monique, TML 20. I've got one more Monique strand here for y'all, TML 21. Is this one. Beautiful colors. It's got the yellow, it's got the blue, it's got the light blue, it's got the orange and the red beads. Beautiful strand. Again, 10-inch strand. These barrel beads are about 11 by 20. One strand available. Goes really well with both of those. TML 21, $10. Everybody still out there? Did I lose everybody? I haven't seen any comments in a while. Everybody still okay? Just making sure, because the rain here is a little torrential. It's starting to ease up though. I just want to make sure everybody's still out there. Or am I doing this for nobody? Anybody out there? Okay. We're doing these at $1 a bead, so $7. TML 22. These are these beautiful vintage Chinese ceramic beads. These beautiful colors, kind of the light tealy blue, dark blue, red, and yellow. Kim says all good. Okay, good. Glad things are still good out there. And like, I think those could be really, look at those really pretty together. These are really lovely. They're hand glazed vintage Chinese ceramic. I love them a lot. And this is about 17 millimeters by 14. May's here just doing dishes. Oh, I hate that. I did that this morning too. Just had to serve dinner. Oh, serve the furry boys their dinner. Nice. I got to go home and do that too in between. Let's see here, TML23. Lynn says, I can't wait for my pink and orange Monique from the D-Stash. Sometimes I forget even what I bought, but I didn't forget those. Nice. Let's see here. We just sold 17. Thank you so much. That's the amethyst strand. Appreciate that. These are just fun. These are a glass flower strand. Look how fun these are. A little rainbow of glass flowers. And there's one strand of these available. These flowers are approximately 20 millimeters, $8 for the strand. Super cute. Lots of pretty colors. Just down here. Stay where you're there. Stay there. There you go. Whoa. Get back up here. One of those rolling everywhere. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me put the green amethyst away, the Prasiolite. These are super nice, y'all. $65, down from 75. Those can be taken apart and used however you want too. We sell them, we price them by the beads, not that they're a finished piece of jewelry. Right? You're gonna put this one away. Bright yellow. TML 19. And TML 20. We put this Monique away. $23 would be great for Pride, says Susan. Yep, it would. Yep, it would. Coming up, right? Mostly in June. A lot of Pride happens in June. I think our Pride is going to be in July because they're waiting for our park in the city to be finished to have the event in Johnstown. May says, I was not familiar with Monique beads until you guys loved the ones I got. Oh, good. Good. We love them. We have a whole collection of them in store. We rarely show them. I do have some of them in the online store. I think I did anyway. I may have sold out on them. I got to check. Because we had a bunch of them in the online store at one point. Let me see if we do still or not. Oh, yes. We've got a number of beautiful Monique strands in the online store right now. So if you missed any of those, they are available there. They're at the $10 price online too. So you can check those out. This was $15. I'm going to bring it down to 10. I've only got one strand left. We had the blue topaz earlier today. Here is a mini microfaceted clear topaz. Beautiful clear topaz, microfaceted rondelles. I think these are 2 millimeter. Let me check. These are 2 millimeter, teeny tiny. We've only got one strand left. Anybody want to take it for $12 today? Super nice. I think it's a 13. Yeah, 13-inch strand. One of those available. TML 24. TML 25. Was 40. Bringing it down to 32. Here in my city, corporate pride is in June. The neighborhood pride is in September, says Susan. Huh. Susan says, those are so cute and precise. I know, right? They're really nice, these little topaz. This is one I know a lot of people like. I've got one strand of this available. These are the quatrefoil shaped tiger eye. And there's one strand of these. They were $40, bringing them down to $32 for y'all. That's what, 20% off? Good deal. Quatrefoils in tiger eye. And I think this is a 16-inch strand. Am I right? Yeah, 16-inch strand. And the quatrefoils on these are about, we'll say 16 millimeters. One strand available. One strand available. Okay. And let's see here. All right. Let me put this one away. $10, TML 21. Jen says, I got some of those quatrefoils when you had them individually. Yes, a bunch of you did. I think we sold out of them individually. I think we did. Let's see here. Let me put the Chinese ceramic vintage ceramic beads. $7 only, $1 a bead on those. That's a good price. Normally they're about $1.50 each. And I'm going to put away the flowers. TML 23. $8 for the string. Oh, let's see. I've been missing some stuff. We sold 23. The flowers are sold. Thank you. We've also sold the topaz. Thank you so much. TML 24. Put that away. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. Let's move 25 down. And TML 26. This was 16. I'll take it down to 14. Susan says I got several of those quatrefoil strands as well. They are so cool. I know you love them. I know you probably have those ones though, right? Okay, let's see here. You know what? Let's take this down to take it one step further, down to 12. I've got two of them. These we stranded up. These are the vintage check, like the lots we had yesterday. But we had these stranded up, and we put 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 on a strand. $12 for 10 beads. Vintage check glass. And these are about 5, 6, 7 millimeters by 20. About 7 by 20. Really nice kind of brown color. And we've got two strands of those. $12. Bring them all the way down to 12. They were 16. I was going to do 14 today, but let's just do 12 and see how they go. Let's see here. We've sold 22, which is the vintage Chinese ceramic. Thank you so much. Oops, I ran out of paper. Oh, no. I thought I had paper around here. Let me go grab a piece of paper to cut up. 1 second, everybody. Sorry about that. I just had a bunch of paper I didn't fully cut up the other day. I don't know where it is. Maybe I cut it up and forgot that I did it. Let me cut these. Little break. How are y'all doing? These days always stress me out a little bit because I'm like trying to go fast, but trying to also show everything and trying to also not make it feel like I'm like rushing because I don't want to rush. But I also got to make it to pottery class because I'm paying for the class. How are you all doing out there? Keeping up? Doing okay? Liking the things I'm showing today, I hope? Such rich color in 26, says Jen. Yes, it is. It is a very rich kind of root beer or whiskey bourbon color, right? I didn't need to cut this much paper, but I brought this much, so I may as well cut it up. All right. TML27. Back in business. All right. I've got only 2 of these left. Let's just give you a really good price. We had these at 12. How about we do them at 8? And let's see here. This is labradorite, but these are beautiful pieces of labradorite. You get both of them for $8. These are really nice pieces of labradorite with some good flash in them. They're drilled lengthwise, longest way. And this is the other one. Got some really nice flash in these. Drilled again lengthwise. You get both of them for $8. TML 27. TML would go great with those brown swirly beads from yesterday. The 26, yeah. I gathered up everything and moved yesterday's stuff already. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. But you're right, they would. They go with the swirly beads. They go with some of the rounds, because this is the vintage check. We just stranded these up, but they would go well with some of those brown, those little rounds with the brown finishes on them. They go well with probably a lot of things from yesterday. And Len says, today was stressful mom stuff. So this is my fun break. Oh, good. I'm glad we can add a little bit of enjoyment and fun to your life, right? I know you're doing some hard stuff right now. And we feel for you, sending lots of love your way. And 28. And this is $11. TML 28. Got one of this one. This is this big old vintage check glass button. Look how pretty that is. It's got a metal shank. Anders says, hang in there, Len. I know, right? Beautiful. I love the colors. There's blue, there's purple, there's black. Nice big check glass button. This is about 37 millimeters. And there's one of those available. Let's see here. We just sold 25, the quatrefoils. Thank you so much. Let me find the bag for those. Thank you, thank you. I think that's the very last strand of those we have, unless I have, can't remember if there was another strand in with the single one. I don't think so. I think that's the last one. I think I separated them out. It's the last strand of those. Into this one for $5. TML 29. This is a vintage check. Kind of a loose lot bead strand. Loose beads lot. lot. I don't know. Um, but in this beautiful kind of, this would go great with some of the carnelian we've had recently. It's a good carnelian color with the green. I think it would go really pretty with some like green, kind of like a green labradorite. These are a little bit more of the blue labradorite, but there's some kind of color in there. Or like I said, we have carnelian. We did some new strands of carnelian. We have some vintage carnelian we've put out recently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 beads for $5. And oops, the beads are about 8 by 12. Andrew says we have a tiger eye strand coming soon. Ooh, different tiger eye strand coming soon. And says we'll all get there. That's why we could be nicer to each other and enjoy our lives and let people enjoy theirs, right? Sounds like a good plan to me. Oh, we sold 28. Thank you so much. That's the button. Thank you, thank you. That one is now gone. And remember, if you missed anything recently, we've been bringing in lots of great new stuff. We always do, but we've been especially bringing in a lot of stuff. We had some nun design stuff. We had great new gemstones over the last week or two. Some of it's in the D stash right now. Some of it never made it to the D stash yet. So if you missed any of those, check them out. Oh, it's Jumbotron. It's on the metal table. I don't even know what to price that one. So I know which one you're talking about now. I wouldn't even know what to price that at the moment. So let's do this. I have this one here. This is lovely. These are some of Andrew's antique trade beads. Antique trade beads in this kind of almost bumblebee color. I love this because I just saved a bumblebee the other day, so it reminded me of that. Black, yellow, and kind of orangey red. A little bit of green in there too. Also kind of Rastafarian colors, right? TML 30. These are antique. They are showing their age. They're from the 1700s or 1800s, late 1700s, early 1800s. $26 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 beads. Only $2.60 a bead. That is really good for something this old that has been probably to more places than me. Right? But super cool. And I love them. You can get those TML 30, $26. If you're interested in like old beads, these are old beads. 12 millimeters on this one by about 17, just to give you a size to compare to the rest of these. But so pretty. Susan says, thanks for saving the bumblebee. For an insect, they are adorable. I know, right? I love the bumblebees. If you missed what I'm talking about, there was every spring, this happens often in the spring around here. We see bumblebees that are, they're just laying around somewhere and they look dead. But I've learned that if you gather up some flowers and put a little bit of water out, I usually actually dunk the flowers in water so that there's a little bit of water on the flowers so it doesn't drown them or anything. But I'll dunk the flowers in there and the flower buds like hold the water droplets. And then I'll put some of the flowers around the bee and the bee will start like it. They always like climb. I put them real close, but they climb up onto the flowers and just start like you can see them moving around on the flowers. And they're just like they need their pollen, their sugar, whatever they need. And they drink the water. And then usually within a few hours, they fly away. And it's really nice to see when that happens. We sold, ba, ba, ba. Let's see, we sold 29. There was a question if I have more than one. I just have that one lot. Just the one lot of those. Gertie would look cute dressed as a bumblebee. Dang, yes, she would. Dang cute. Yes, she would, my little Gertie girl. So there's this new thing on Instagram now called Instance. Have y'all seen that? It just came out today. And it's kind of like Snapchat, where you are able to send to your friends quick pictures, but they only show up once. It's not like a 24-hour thing. They show up once and then they go away. Once your friend looks at them, they can't look at them again. And I did my first one today, and I sat there. I did it with Gertie. Gertie was sitting with me, so I'm like, okay, let's try this out. So if you are my friend on Instagram, or you follow me and I follow you back on my personal Instagram, you can see that probably today, as long as you've gotten the update for it. I think they released it to everybody today. I don't usually get things first, so yeah, check it out. It's kind of fun. But I just shared a quick picture. I was on the couch after we had some dinner, not dinner, like lunch, breakfast, whatever it was, and sitting there with Gertie, and I did a snap with me and Gertie. Um, Andrew said, if it's a carpenter bee, just step on it. You know I'm not going to do that, but yes, the carpenter bees are terrible. Try and keep them away. The wasps should be coming hopefully soon to take care of those. But yeah, that's it for today, y'all. And I've got to run. So thank you all so much for joining me. And if you have any questions, you know what to do. Send us an email, info@allegorygallery.com. And I will probably I'm not going to be able to invoice for this before I leave here. So I will invoice for this either tonight or possibly tomorrow. Depending on how late I get home and what things are happening when I get home. Susan says, do your cats enjoy wearing little outfits? I'm not allowed to dress mine. I don't think they actually enjoy it, but I don't think the girls would mind so much. I think they'd be fine. The boys have never really enjoyed it, but they deal with it if we put like hats on them. We've never done really much more than hats, though. I will say Barnaby did not like a harness. He kind of like just fell flat and and didn't do anything. He threw himself on the ground, and I had to like drag him if I wanted him to go anywhere. That's why we try and teach them to go out without a harness, because they were like completely numb. Their whole bodies just fell to the ground when I started putting harnesses on them to try and take them out. Marion says, enjoy your class, but be careful out there. Yes, I will try to. Thank you. Andrew says, Tallulah likes it. See, Tallulah doesn't mind at all. She likes to show off. It is true. It is true. Everybody's saying thank you. Have a great evening, everyone. You too. Have fun. I hope you have a good evening for the rest of it, all of you. And I will see you back here, maybe with Andrew, maybe not, depending on how busy he is, tomorrow, Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. Have a great one, everyone, and we'll see you back here then.